Welcome to session 4 of CloudBusting. I'm going to start with chapter 11, and it finished last time, if you remember. He ran and he ran and he ran and he ran away from Davy. He wanted to get away from him. Shadow. After that, Davy became my shadow. He followed me around like my shadow. In front of my friends, he was still Fizzy Feet, but when he was just us two, he became Davy. Davy who cracked such bad jokes that I couldn't help laughing. And he said, "Your smile is so big, it's going to fall off your face." Davy who said my mum's cooking tasted of sunshine and rainbows and made her grin and strut like a peacock. "What a sweet boy that Davy is," said Mum. She admired his taste. Davy who said Dad's homemade table was the best he'd ever seen. Even though Mum said a silent prayer whenever she put anything on it, heavier than a chocolate biscuit, as a table it was a dead loss. "What a smart boy that Davy is," said Dad. He admired Davy's sense. And when we were alone, when it was just Davy and me, he'd asked, "Do you know what stars are?" "Stars are holes in the floor of heaven." He'd asked, "Do you know what dreams are?" "Dreams are a way for us to live 2 lives." "Huh?" I frowned. My mouth turned down. What was he talking about? Did he even know? "I read about a man," said Davy, "who once dreamt that he was a butterfly. Butterfly, flutter by, gently with the breeze, as it blows you with its ease through the flowers past the trees. So butterfly, flutter by, butterfly." "Did you make that up?" I said, wondering how he'd got on to this subject. "Yes, I did," smiled Davy. "It shows," I replied sourly. Davy grinned at me. "So anyway, this man once dreamt he was a butterfly, and he woke up and wondered if he was a man who dreamt he was a butterfly, or a butterfly who was now dreaming he was a man. Davy, where do you get this stuff from?" "You're making my head hurt," I groaned. "I read it, see it, think it, hear it, taste it." "Taste it? What's your favourite food?" Davy asked. Roast lamb, the way my mum makes it, and rice and roast parsnips, the way my mum makes them." I licked my lips at the thought. "And what does it taste like?" asked Davy. I frowned. Roast lamb and rice taste like roast lamb and rice." "Use your imagination," Davy urged. "When you eat it, how does it make you feel? What does it remind you of? What thoughts enter your head as you eat?" I considered. I think, what lovely roast lamb and rice. Doesn't it taste like starbeams on your tongue, or daydreams in your mouth, or wishes down your throat, or happiness in your stomach, or a headache in my brain?" I grumbled. Davy was really making my head hurt now. "There's more than one way to look at something," said Davy, adding, "I know you think I'm different, unique, special, individual." "The word I'm thinking of is weird," I said. Davy grinned. "Well, I'm glad. The worst thing in the world, no, the worst thing in the universe would be to look and walk and talk and think like everyone else." I looked at Davy, then really looked at him, and I realised something strange. He meant every word. And even though talking to Davy sometimes did my head in, at least he had something to say, a way that was all his own. I guess what I'm trying to say is he wasn't the least bit boring. Alex and I talked about football and other sports, football results and films sometimes, football players and girls sometimes, football tactics and schools sometimes, mainly football, mostly football. David and I talked about the earth as a football, the stars as spectators, girls as aliens, teachers as robots, or nutbags, or demons, films to walk into, books to hold on to, music to live for, Muse and Mozart, jobs to grow up for, dreams to stay young with. Davy and I talked about anything and everything. I tried to be careful. I really and truly did. but people started to notice that we were sometimes together, often together, always together. My best friend said, "You're spending a lot of time with Fizzy Feet. What's that about?" "I can't stand him," I panicked. "So why would I hang around with him? He's a first class grade A. He's a first class grade A, top of the dung heap moron." And Alex started laughing at something, someone behind me, and I turned, and there was Davy, and he'd heard every word. He didn't say anything. He just walked away, and Alex was still laughing. And I looked at Alex, and I looked at Davy walking away. And at that moment, I had to choose between the kind of boy I was and the kind of boy I wanted to be. I chose to stay with Alex. I watched Davy walk away, and I knew I was making the wrong decision, but my feet wouldn't move. I didn't want Alex and my mates to laugh at me as well, so I stayed with Alex, and I watched Davy walk away. Then I realised that Davy wasn't my shadow. It was the other way around. Let's keep going. Chapter 12. This chapter's called Sorry. I walked home all alone, thinking, "Dave, I'm sorry. That wasn't nice." My mum's advice? Go and say you're sorry. I told her, "No, I will not go and tell him that I'm sorry." "But it was mean. You should be keen to let him know you're sorry." I dug in my heels, despite appeals, to admit that I was sorry. "There's no TV, no treats for tea, until you say you're sorry." "I'm sorry now, you rotten cow. Sorry, sorry, sorry." I had a shout. Now there's no doubt. I am very, 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 very sorry. Chapter 13. No big deal. The next day, Davy paused by my door. Without stopping, I ran and said, "Wait up, Davy!" But he kept walking, and there I was running after him, and he wouldn't stop. So by the time I reached him, I was puffed and annoyed with both him and me. "Didn't you hear me calling you?" I ranted between gasps to fill my lungs, and he looked at me, just looked at me, and I spent a lifetime which lasted no more than a second, thinking about all the things he could say to me in response, in reply, all the things I deserved to hear. But he smiled, just smiled, and said, "Hi." I felt strange, embarrassed. I looked away, but didn't walk away. I caught sight of Davy's brake box in his hand. He'd started his break early, like just after breakfast. "What have you got?" I asked, digging into my bag for my own break box. I opened mine up so we could both look and compare snacks. He had carrot sticks, a thick chunk of cucumber, breadsticks, grapes, and an apple. I had salt and vinegar crisps, chocolate buttons, a pack of peanuts, and an apple. "I'll swap you my peanuts for your cucumber," I said. "I love cucumber. It's the only green thing I'll eat." "I can't eat peanuts," said Davy. "I'm allergic." I frowned. I didn't really get it. "I'm allergic to peanuts," said Davy. "But I'll swap you your packet of chocolate buttons for all my cucumber." 15 buttons, I haggled. "The packet has probably only got 10 in it in the first place," Davy pointed out. So I gave him the packet and took his cucumber. And we carried on munching and crunching as we walked. "Don't tell anyone about my allergy," said Davy after a while. "Why not?" I asked. "I don't want to fuss," shrugged Davy. "Promise me." "You won't tell." So I promised. No problem, no big deal. But the promise left my mouth, escaped my mind, fizzled out, sizzled out, and I forgot it. Pure forgot it, clean forgot it, left it, lost it, just forgot it. Chapter 14. Big mistake. I told Alex. Big mistake. About Davy's allergy. Big mistake. How allergic he is. Big mistake. "I don't know," I said. Big mistake. "He didn't run away screaming." Big mistake. "From my packet of peanuts." Big mistake. "If that's what you mean." Big mistake. "I was sorry I spoke." Big mistake. "I might have guessed." Big mistake. That he'd have more, big mistake, than his fizzy feet wrong with him. Big mistake, said Alex scornfully. Big mistake. "My cousin Jennifer has an allergy." Big mistake, said Pete thoughtfully. "She's very allergic." Big mistake. To cat hairs. They make her sneeze and sneeze. Big mistake. Sneeze, eh? Said Alex just as thoughtfully. Big mistake. And I thought, oh no, I know that lot. Big mistake. He just had an idea. He's going to do something to Davy. Big mistake. Telling him about Davy's allergy was a big mistake. Okay, we will leave it there. I shall try and post fifth entry sooner rather than later. Take care all. Bye bye.